Weirdly, I can only hear one of these samples. I don't know what this thing is doing sometimes. It's the same, but it's like certain samples are playing and certain ones aren't. Kind of awkward. Sorry, the mic was way away from my face. Let me put that one in just in case. And if you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm just getting started. So I'm setting up a little slow here, but it's okay. Looking for a rim. I will try that one. Maybe we'll try that one. Kind of like this one better. It's a little, what is the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna tune it back a little bit and then throw this decay, not that, the decay. All right, cool. You could also do a filter. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Put this filter. I want that same filter. I like this LP filter too. I don't know why I like it, but not so much on this kick. We'll leave it on there, but I won't filter it out. This one. I'm gonna put the filter. Starts getting weird when you do filters on this. Let me see. See what it sounds like. So I think this one doesn't really need the filter, but just needs to be maybe just the volume down a little bit. Okay, that'll work. All right, let me open up my chat. I forgot to do that. What's up, Robert? Good to see you. Can you show this setup using Remix Live on the iPad and the MPC sample with the remix? I'm not sure, Robert, what you're talking about, remix. Good to see you though, but I'm not sure what you mean by remix. And the setup is pretty simple. The only reason the iPad is not plugged in directly to this is because I was trying to show it on screen where I would just show you the screen of the iPad, but the problem is I was having more technical difficulties because iOS for some reason doesn't allow you to do the screen recording at the same time, be able to pass the audio back and forth. So you got to pick and choose. Either you're going to take the audio and not have the screen recording, which means I have to put it on camera, or you do it the other way. Remix Live is an app for that. I can't show you something like that because I don't know how to use it, and it would be terrible for me to do that. Now, if I try it off camera, maybe down the road I could do that, but I can't say right now I'm going to do it just because I have never used it. I don't even know what it does, to be honest. So I would have to look that up. Maybe on another video after I get a chance to see what it is. You guys can see the camera. That's funny. I'll just leave it over here. Should be clear enough. Yeah, I'll try that. I'll look into it and see what that app is. I'm not a big remix type person. I make music, but I don't really do a lot of remixing of stuff. But yeah. Yeah, I'll check and see what it's about. I'm not really into the, and this isn't any disrespect for people that are, but like the flex beat type stuff where you're doing doing stuff like that. That's not me. I'm not really a, I mean, I can play live, but I'm more of like a piano slash guitar slash bass player who plays music. So my level of sampling is generally me messing with this. Remix live is awesome and would be go great with MPC Sample. Yeah, I think it depends on the type of music you're doing. I'm more jazz oriented than I am anything else. If you're trying to make like hip hop remix beats and stuff like that, absolutely, I can see where that would. But I use elements of hip hop, but I don't really use that. So let's talk about tonality and why I use it and why I like it so much. So let me show you what I'm using here. This is AUM and on the iOS. It works on the iPhone as well as the iPad. It is a mixer for those that don't know. And sorry about these weird colors you might see. It's just the way the lighting is picking up from the camera. Let me use this here. And I'll try to adjust a little bit of this. I had to turn the brightness up a little bit because it got really dark. I'll turn some of the gamma stuff off. Gotta leave a little bit on or it starts getting weird. All right, we'll try that. See, that looks pretty good. I mean, I got most of the lighting issues done with the filter that I'm using on my camera. Speaking of filters, where is it? So I decided to go with the moment, and this is the variable ND2 to 7 stop filter. Really nice. Works right on the iPhone with their case. So I have the case and that. That's what I'm using. Not that I should be shouting them out because they didn't give me anything for free. But okay. And the bad lighting is just due to the fact that in my room it is what it is. I'm not gonna pay for lighting until I start seeing some big dividends come in. So but anyway. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just depends. It's hard to show people stuff that you don't use and stuff that like if I'm not into that style of music, it would be kind of lame for me to get on here and pretend like I'm using this on a daily. By the way, if you see this shadow here, it's just the microphone. The microphone moving in and out. So I'm moving it around. So but anyway, yeah, so it's kind of hard to show people something you don't use. I'll move that way. So I use the MPC quite different than most people. Although I do sample sometimes, I mostly make songs. So I do ambient, cinematic, and kind of jazzy, hip hoppy. I shouldn't say it like that. It's not really hip hop, but like I might use a hip hop beat or something or some drums, but then I'll probably play some jazzy stuff over it. So I'm using one of my favorite apps, which is called from gospel musicians called Neo Soul Keys. And it's like electric pianos like Suitcase and that kind of stuff, Whirlays and yeah. And this is a preset called a Mark One Suitcase 4. There's a ton of different pianos and presets in here, but I chose this one, so it is what it is. And the way I'm working this is I have MIDI mitter running on my iPad. So if you look right here, I have a Bluetooth dongle Yamaha that's plugged into my Osmos that sits beneath that you don't see. I removed the Osmos from here to give me more space to be able to show you. One second, my dog walked in. Yes. Can I help you, little girl? Okay. All right. She just came in to speak. All right. So, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So now that you can see that. This is tonality in a standalone mode here. You can see that you can do chords, you can do lessons and learn how to use it. It works as quite a bit of different things, really. And if you need to learn scales, it's a great tool for that. Pick G minor, then you can learn what the G minor chords are, or you can go in here and learn what the scales are. So this is the scale for G minor, and then you just learn these chords or these notes. And I'm playing it on the keys. All right, so back to AUM. In AUM, you can use it as a chord pad where you can play chords. You can also edit these chords. You can go in and change up that. You can strum these chords. You hit here. You can, let's say you want this one to be strummed. If you hold it, if you hold down this, they start shaking and you touch it. And now you can turn this off and strum this one only. You see, it'll give you the notes. So this works great when you don't have a ton of chords. If you get a ton of chords, it gets challenging. The velocity is down here. If you touch these three dots, you can see that you can change from linear to logarithmic, I think they call it, an exponential, depending on, that's basically the curve that it's playing in. And then you can set the velocity mode. So just to show you, I have mine going left to right. So if you watch the velocity, the further this way I get on the pad, the higher the velocity, and then the lower over here. See that? You can do top to bottom if you switch it, top to bottom, or bottom, I should say bottom to top. That's what I was showing you. Bottom to top. So depending on how you want to do it, left to right works great for me because these are smaller rectangular. So it means the closer I put my finger here, the louder the chord. And it gets softer as I go this way. You can use your mouse. So you see the mouse, I moved it over from the computer. So what you can do is record chords into your MPC that you like, or you can play it in and then resample that and then chop it up. Okay, so looks like we got about 6 people in here. So hopefully you guys can hear everything. You should be able to hear chords. You should be able to hear the MPC. Okay, I haven't put a drum pattern in here yet, so we could do some drums. Let's build some drums, and then we'll play the chords over the drums. That's opposite of how I work normally. Normally, I come up with chord progressions or ideas musically, and then I'll go and build over. Now, like I told you guys, I have my keyboard sitting beneath here so I can play it. Now, I have Koala open over here, so I could just record ideas into Koala using the keys and then send them this way, or I could just try to record directly in here. So on the screen, you don't see it, but in the background, I'm running loopback, and basically I have the MPC where anything I play into it should go to the MPC. So that's in the background. You can't see it, but it may not work. Just be mindful of that because I had to put the iPad's volume through to see. So anything I play on the iPad should go to the MPC. So we're going to do a test run by pressing record. We're going to set this up to USB-C. And we're just going to do touch a pad And there it goes. Oops, stop. I just accidentally recorded over it. So let's go back into record and do that again. Touch the pad. Just waiting on a signal. All right. So get out of record. It's not picking the signal up for some reason. So it should be able to pick it up, but it's not. So we're going to have to do this a little bit different. Turn off this. Let me see if yeah, it's not picking it up for some reason. For some reason, and when I've used MPC audio in loopback, I can never get it to record to it, and I'm not sure exactly why, but it just doesn't. And I would show you this, but then you would be really bored. So I'm gonna put the output there, remove the MPC from here. It works well with the Ableton Move, but for some reason with the MPC it's not. Let me try it a different way. We're gonna record. Yeesh. Sorry about that, guys. So it's picking up feedback because I'm sending it through this other audio hijack, which I will fix right now. We'll have to mute it when I do the chords through just to be able to record it. Now, if you weren't using MPC, don't worry. You could just use Koala, which is just fine. And it's even easier. So in here, let me show you this. So you can see the mouse and my hand too. This is a mix bus. So I add this in. Normally it would look like your output, but I'm using a mix. So I'm sending the A to the A up here. So it's just routing it this way, right? Into here. Then in Koala, you turn the headphone on. And now anything you play is going to go into Koala. So if that's how easy it is. So when I'm doing chords, so I can press this and I'll play the melody with my right hand. And that's how I play. That was a terrible job, but whatever. So like that. And then let's just say I wanted this to be my intro. I'm going to chop that up. And now I have for the intro. Notice I did not play that to any BPM. It's internal BPM. Okay, so then if I wanted to record that, I would have to send it back through here. Now this is where I'm having a little trouble because I don't want it to duplicate the recording. So let's just do this. Let's go touch the pad. It's picking up my voice. Yeah, it's picking up my voice. Hold on, let me delete that. I know you can't hear it because if I turn it on, then obviously. So it's set to 2-bar sequence. I'm going to set it to 16 bars and I'm going to change this BPM because I don't work in no 128. So we're going to set it to like, we'll do 70. Let's do 78. In here, I'm going to change this to 78 just so it matches. All right, so let's say we're at the beginning now. And all I want to do is go back to the sample and record this part in. I don't care if it's not matching the BPM right now. I'm just getting something in there, right? So I'm going to hit record, and then I'm going to just arm it. Now it's going to pick up my voice, unfortunately. So I got to stop talking for a minute. So erase. Oops. Hold on. Erase. All right, I'm going to stop talking for just a second. All right, now I can turn that back on. And we'll turn. There we go again. So I can't, that's the problem, is I can't record into MPC while I'm doing this video because, I mean, I can, but I have to turn it on and off, right? So that it doesn't bleed into the sound so that you guys can hear it, basically. So we're going to get out of this sample record, and here's what I recorded in. All right, so this is no issue recording, by the way, when you're not trying to do it the way I'm doing here, which is record so you guys can hear it. If I'm just recording on my own, you wouldn't get all this feedback stuff because you don't have to share the sound with someone, right? You're just doing it at your own leisure. So I'm just showing you the basic workflow. So if you hear that mistake, that's just because I have to remember to turn it on and off when I'm recording. Unfortunately, you guys won't be able to hear exactly what I play when I play it in until after I let you hear it. This just is how it works best to keep down from hearing all the extra. So now let's do the beat. We'll work on that for a little bit, and I'll see which rhythm I want to go with. Now I have the sequence set at 16, but we don't have to use 16. I'm thinking about just doing 4 bars for the drums, keeping it kind of simple. Nothing. The only reason I did 16 was just to give me more time up here, because if you do 2 when you're recording something in, you're either going to set it to free and go with free, which is probably the better way, or set it to the sequence. It's up to you. Anything already in here is not a big deal. It's just when I'm recording over. So we'll do some more chords. I'll put some chords in here, but I'm just showing you, if you look at the screen here, that you can do this in, really, you can do this in Koala if you want. It's not that big of a deal. And if you have an iPad that's big enough, at least 11-inch iPad, which is what this is, it's actually really pretty flawless in my opinion. And I'm using a keyboard too, so I could drum in this stuff if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. So we're going to use this. Keep in mind it does have the sequence recall, so you don't have to drum it into the beat, but if you want to turn that on, probably best to turn the metronome on, at least when you're recording. And this is why tonality is fun, because tonality is you playing the actual things versus like scalar. You could do that, but it's not as easy and fluid. To me, I feel like in here you get more ability to play. Now I'm showing you this. I could actually expand this so that I have more playing space. The more you open it up, the more you have the opportunity to do that. So I'm just showing you that. So let's mess around and see what we come up with. Now, in order for me to record into the MPC, again, I have to mute the output so that you don't hear it. So I will have to do that and to make it right for you so that you, and then I'll show you what I'm playing afterwards. Chill and connect. Good to see you. How's the MPC? Oh, I love the MPC sample. This is like Koala in a box. If you like Koala and that workflow, you'll love the MPC sample. It's the hardware version, in my opinion. And I mean, I'm just being honest. I love Koala. I'm a huge fan of it. I use it probably more than, well, between that and Ableton, I probably use them the most. Where did I buy? When you say where did I buy, what do you mean? You talking about the MPC sample? I got the sample on day one from Guitar Center. I didn't, I originally ordered online, but yeah. What's up, Blatantly Blatant? Good to see you. Tonality is definitely fire. Yes, it is. Yeah, tonality is the way to go if you really want to play your sounds through. So for sure. So we got like this little intro, and then we can start into these drums, and then we'll figure out something. All right, so let me stop this. Now we're going to play into the sequence. Now keep in mind, this sequence is only 4 bars, so we're going to need to double this. So I'm going to hit Shift, double. So now it's going to be 8 bars. But because the way I play, I typically like to play 16. I'm going to play 16. So we're going to double it again. And now if you go to the sequence, you'll see now it's 16 bars. But keep in mind when you do this type of recording, if you make a mistake when you're on 16 bars, you're going to have to fix it by playing it again. So just be careful. If you're not like fluid with your playing or whatever, um, you're going to have to get better at it. That's just what it is. I'm turning up the swing to see what it sounds like. Now I left on quantized recording. I could have took that off, but I didn't. Forgot to. So I find it easier personally that you can record this in, or better, I should say, not easier, but better. However, for some people, they just may want to record these chords into their pads so that they can sequence it here. It depends on what you want to do. So you could go to like Bank B, and if you know you got, let's say, 7 chords you want to use, that one's kind of dope too. But if you don't want to do all that and you just want to do like the like pick each part sequence wise, you could go in and just record it all in one, or you can do the way I'm about to show you right now, which is just an option. Okay. All these ways are just options. So we're going to go in and we're going to record in. Let me answer one more comment and then I'm going to record. I like Koala Sampler, but want to stay away from other distracting apps. Excuse me. Well, I get that, but what I like about having the apps on here is this keyboard you're hearing is not, it's all on the iPad. So for me, I'm not distracted by it. It's more of just learning to focus on what you're using. I mean, you're going to be distracted by anything you get. You could be distracted by your dog walking in on you. I mean, it's a lot of stuff or whatever you have. You have to like shift your focus and just lock into what you're doing. But I get what you're saying. You bought yours from GC since they seem to get it in stock faster. Um, well, the reason why I went with GC just because I knew they had 12 of them at the location, and if I got there early, they weren't going to do orders over the phone, so you had to go in to get them. So I knew I would just show up. It's only 5 minutes from where I live. Went in and grabbed it, and that was why I did that. Yeah, most companies are back ordered on them right now. That's why once I got it and realized what it was and how much I liked it, I was kind of, based on what I read, knew that it was going to be pretty solid. I didn't know how good I would like it, but I actually love it. It's the best MPC I've ever owned. And I've had the Live, the MPC One, and all. Those were more like a DAW, whereas this one feels more like Koala, where I'm just using sound and just building music off of sound. So, all right, I'm going to record each one of these chords into here. The beauty of doing this is you can hold the chord, let go of the chord, and you hear the off, like it sounds like it turned off. So I'm going to do each one. This requires me to mute the mic. So I will mute the mic and do this for a little bit, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I forgot to mute the thing. So to do this on live, I'm having to mute stuff so that you don't get crazy feedback. And unfortunately, I didn't. Try not to blow anybody's eardrums out. What's up, Dusty? Good to see you. Ali Star, good to see you. So now I got them all recorded. I'm going to get out of this sample thing. We're going to put them on a mute group because if you don't, they'll just play over each other. So we're going to go to tune, play, mute group. Again, I like to use this because I find it easier. And we're going to touch each one and put them on mute group 1. There we go. So now they're on mute groups. But if you don't want to deal with all this, then that's where I say just play it on the iPad where you get the full flavor of everything, right? So now you have, and it's basically these first row of chords. So that's one option that you can do. I'm going to leave that in there and I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you the other option of recording it the way I personally would rather do it. This, you're going to have, when you try to export, you got to keep all this together. It's just a lot more work, in my opinion. So the way I like to do it is to record over the beat using one pad and just create, whatever you're going to create. The feedback wasn't too bad. Actually, yeah, I try not to give feedback, but but I have to give feedback sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. I got a 1.3 earlier from Reddit. Oh, somebody gave you the newer version. Is it better? I have no clue. I'm talking to you, Ali Star. I'm sorry. I should have said your name. Is the 1.3 version better? And if so, what did you find better about it? I'm curious. Because so far, I like most of the stuff I have on here. There's a few little things that, like, minor things they could make better, I guess. Um, and I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want key groups," and I get that. I'm not really wanting necessarily. Well, I guess that's what they call it in the MPC world is key groups. I just want a one-shot instrument. I want to be able to put a one-shot in and play it across a few octaves with a keyboard plugged in. That would be ideal. So, like if I want to watch this MIDI, I want to open up this KB1 here. See? And I want to be able to just play a one-shot across. Like if I didn't have my keyboard below here and I'm out somewhere and I just wanted to, I could hook up, right? I could do that if I wanted to, right? And then adjust like velocity. I'm gonna turn. And then if this was smaller, then I can adjust. Um, where's got my wheels right there, but I was trying to find my octaves. No, it's not my octaves. Dang, I forgot where the octaves are. I haven't used this in a minute because I actually use just a keyboard. It makes more sense, but where in the world is my octaves on here? It's somewhere simple too, and I'm like just overlooking it. It's terrible. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, there it is. This is switching the key. I don't want to switch that. I want to switch the octaves down. This is for the arpeggiator. I'm trying to find the switch for that. Hold on, let me expand it. Maybe I need to see. So weird I can't find this, and I used to use this a lot. Oh, here we go. Settings. Classic keyboard layout. See, this thing has MPE in it too. You can set the scale in this one, same thing. I just haven't used it in a while, but enable the haptics. I think it's off right now. Turn that on so you can feel when oh, it only works on the iPhone. Never mind. Enable MPE, the layout, number of rows per row, 2 octaves per row, 1 octave. So the max you can have is 2 octaves per row. Set the root note, set the scale. All I'm trying to do is figure out how in the world we get the classic keys. Turn on velocity, I know that. Maybe it's this latch button? No, that's for this. So weird. I can't move. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't show you this part. There's other keyboards on here too that you can use. But either way, it is what it is. All right. Not gonna spend all day on that. Let's open this back up. So let's do it the other way. I'm gonna record in and we'll go there. What's up, Crazy Rabbit? Good to see you. On the sample, how do you link your samples together so when you hit oh, so to link your samples under play, same thing where the mute groups are, just hit shift and it's a pad link. So whatever pad you're on, then you just tell it to link between 1 and 6. So these is 1, goes 1 here all the way up to 16. So you just set on a pad, like if you want these 2 hats to link, I don't know why you would do that, but you would hit shift. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. All right, so you would hit shift and then whatever pad you're on, you're going to tell it to link with, like we're on 4, I'm going to link with 3. So now, and if you're on 3, you could tell it to link with 4 if you wanted to. I don't know why in the world I would do that, but anyway, that's how you do it. Yeah, I would never do that, but all right, so I'm going to expand this because I want to see more of it. So I can get more rhythmically involved when I'm doing it this way than when I'm trying to just press pads and put chords on. Plus, I like to have less banks to switch from. So if I have to switch over, and because these truly don't, though they cut each other off, they play all the way on a one shot. They never, I guess you could turn note on, but when note on is on, it drives me crazy sometimes. So you could do that for, oops, didn't mean to do that. So it doesn't play all the way through if that's what you want. It's like gating it, I guess. So you could do that option. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Personally, I just want them to, oops. I think if you're gonna do this, your best bet would be just leave it in one shots, but have them on the choke group. But see, I feel like they don't play the same. That's why I don't really like doing that. So let me erase these. Doesn't play the same as when I'm in here. See, because when I release off the velocity in here, when you go into the settings, you see how I have randomized velocity, trigger velocity sensitivity, velocity note, randomized note velocity, and the attack. So you lose that once you go in and just one shot it into here. That's why you want it on keys so that you can play it. Finger drummers need that to look like they play everything. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's why they do that, maybe. There's a shift here. Yeah, shift pad to go back. Yeah, so for me to play it is better. It just feels good. Now this is great for getting the rhythm down, and when you're using gospel chords, which is what these are, by the way. Um, I'm not that fluid in playing, so I can make up some chords, I know. But the iPad is incredible, guys. I mean, for serious purposes, if you want chords, if you're not just about sampling, but you can still sample through here too. You can use sampleit.io to capture stuff into it. There's so many ways to do it. It's just up to you and how you want to function with it. Um, I know all their secrets. That's funny. So, Ali, you made a statement earlier. I was asking you a question, but I don't think you answered it. Your input knob looks lower. Oh, okay, you did answer it. I'm sorry. I missed it. My apologies. Has normalized. That's nice. When warp set to sequence, you can still set the pitch, which is good. Oh, okay, they fixed that. That's cool. I was wondering why they changed that because you still should be able to get the pitch. Your input knob looks low there. My input. What input knob? You talking about this knob here, the speaker? Or are you talking about this? I'm not sure what knob you meant by that. On the sample, how can you link to? I already told you that. I would love some of the features from the big MPCs to mess with sample playback. They have a page for random pitch level, offset, and panning. That on the sample would be so nice. I'm not worried about key groups or even scales. See, I don't have to have key groups and scales, but if I'm away from an iPad or an iPhone and the way I play, I want to have some type of key groups, but it doesn't need to be as intricate. Here, let me show you. So Koala, if I have in oh, I don't want to do that. I want to record some in it. So let's just, all right. Let's say this my one shot. Technically, it's not chromatic, and we're gonna put it in a keyboard mode. This is basically what you have when you're looking at the 16 levels. You basically have 16 notes to play a sample over, which would technically be somewhere around 12 notes are in an octave, and then you would add 4 notes to that. So let's say this is your octave, then so that's all you have. Just give me four ability to have 4 4 octaves. If you give me 4 octaves, I can play. Shoot, even the SP404 gives you at least 2 octaves when you plug in a keyboard. So give me 4 octaves so that we can at least play some chords. I can't do nothing with 1 octave. It's just you're going to be doing some basic triad chords. And for those that don't play chords, okay, cool, I get it. That doesn't mean anything to you if you don't play chords. But at least three. Three is right, but four would be nice. And that way, when I throw a one-shot sample in, I could just have my fun with it. So for me, I want that at least to be able to do a one-shot instrument in there. But honestly, if they don't do it, as you can see with the iPhone or the iPad, you can really just go to town and you'll get more out of this anyway than messing around with trying to hook a keyboard to here and hoping that your one shot sounds good. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna mute the mic so I can record in these chords. All right, guys. I think I figured out how to do this, but now you can't hear it. So in order for you to hear it, I have to turn this back off. So I have to change the output so that the MPC doesn't run through this. Because now if I run it through the various sources and I have it recording here too, that's where you get the feedback. So maybe somewhere down the road, I'll figure this all out where I don't have to change anything. But at the moment, that's where it's at. So sorry it took me longer because when you're doing 16, the one thing I hate about this machine, and I mean, I guess I can find a workaround, but is when you're trying to do 16 bars, you literally have to wait for the loop to go all the way around because they don't have a count in. So if they had a count in for the actual audio recording in where you're playing the beat in the background, a little 4-bar 1 2 3 4, then I could start at the 1 and just record in a loop. But I have to literally wait for it to go all the way through 16 and then come back and hit the loop. So it took me forever. All right, so now I got to put it in the sequence, so we'll go in there and all I have to do is turn sequence on, make sure it's set to the first bar and press it, turn it off. It's in there, set at a 127 velocity, which is fine. Okay, and then we're going to exit out of the sequence, and now we should better hit play. Now I'm getting static. So there you go. And then we can do some more stuff. I'm going to put on another track here on this one. Route the audio to the mix bus A so that it goes to the same. And then we're going to put on a bass. So you can use like our fretless, which is what I like. Oops. Remove. Hold it down, and then you can pick which bass you want. Now the only thing when you use this is you better know what you're playing because you ain't locking no scales on this. Well, at least not on that particular app. So we're in the key of G minor. So on the keys, I know it very well. So we have G, A, and then B flat. And C, D, and then D sharp. So you can use this note too. And I'm mostly playing a lot of B flat in here. So you can just play over it, whatever feels good to you. But those are the notes and the scale. Play an octave or fifth, right? And just vibe out. That's the best way to do it. Oh, I'm missing comments. All right, so on the sample, what is the dial on the back? The record gain. So I think that only applies though when you're using the left and the right end. I don't think it applies to the USB-C. I think that's on its own thing. Um, what's up, Crazy Rabbit? Good to see you. FYI, I wouldn't spend your time with Remix Live. It's the best with a launch pad or on its own. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really into remixing stuff well, not like that. So there would not be any value add to pair the sample with it. Let others do that, my opinion, of course. Yeah, I mean, I can look at stuff like that, but I'll be honest, if I'm not into it, I'm not about to try to put it on my channel and do it because it's just what's the purpose? Like I don't feel it. Like I gotta feel it if I'm gonna show it to you. So again, I'll look at it, but I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not a remix person like that. Um, I stepped away. Maybe it was answered, but the dial on the back input gain for the 0.25 inputs only. Yeah, for the quarter inch. I have not tried mess with the gain. I mean, if you're using the USB-C, there's no point in worrying about that. It is a record gain, but it's only for the quarter inch. Maybe someone else can confirm that the record gain knob is only for the inputs for the back. Yeah, so I think it is. I think it's only for the quarter inch inputs. I do not think it works with the USB-C. BG White, what's up? Good to see you, man. All right, so let's do this bass. This is an app called iFretless Bass. It's the only bass app that I'll recommend on iOS personally. If you want real bass sounds, if you're looking for synth bass, well, there's a plethora of them on iOS. This one is an upright bass. There is jazz bass in here, other styles that you can use, like a studio jazz or a slap bass. That's all in here. Depending on the style of music you're doing, but like when I'm doing kind of like jazzy, boom bappy slash whatever else I make, I usually use acoustic upright bass. That's the vibe I like. If you have issues with it cutting through the mix, I said this before, there's an app by Clev Grand called Grand Finale. If you get Grand Finale, don't buy this app just to buy it. I'm just saying it'll help you with the bass cut through. So it works really well. But it can get pretty dang loud too. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll compensate, or what do they call that? Gain staging, I think, where you might turn the bass down a little. Just at least 6 dB to give you some Remix Live is not a remix app. It plays loops on samples. Great app to get copyright claims. Oh, yeah, definitely won't be using that then. That's not even, I don't mess with that. I think anybody that wants to see that needs to just get the sample and do it themselves. I wouldn't see what the purpose of that would be with MPC Sample. The idea is that you're sampling in here things that you want to try to chop up or, you know, use like that. So yeah, if it's that type of app, no way. So we can do this. So I like to have fun. I play more free jazz where I'm just having fun and let loose. I don't want to be, you can make this stuff tighter if you want to, but then I find I get bored real easy. So for me, I'm gonna mute this sound, or I'm not, so that you can't hear it, and I'm just gonna play some jazz bass over this jazz chords that I played. And this is how I prefer to record with it. But I do this the same way in Koala, so it's no different. That's why I say this is like Koala to me, the way I work. Now, if I'm chopping a sample, this is totally different. I would just drop a sample in and then use the chop function. But if I'm trying to record something in and use this as my kind of like my source to finish it, that's how I would do. You could throw the compressor on. Where is it? Right here. Throw the compressor on. I don't use this that much, but I mean, I'm not saying you can't. Because I don't know much about this compressor, how it works. I know this is the amount. I wouldn't compress the beat hard. I would leave it kind of a little bit of compression. And I would probably put this on at the end when you're done. You can take the color off if you don't like the color, or just bypass the thing in general. But anyway, let's record something. All right, so we're gonna do it the same way that I did the last time. I'll mute this, or change it rather to headphones so I can hear it. And unfortunately, you won't get to hear it while I'm playing it, but you'll get to see me do it, and then I'll let you hear it right after. Would you recommend buying a stand like you have? For me, it works great. I think, I mean, it's really nice. Is it necessary to have? Absolutely not. Um, but I like it for raising it up a little bit to my, I mean, I have a standing desk too, but I like to have it in my face like this, right there. And I feel like the angle for me is a little bit better than when it sits down, but I'm not a drummer. Keep that in mind. I can do drum beats. I'm just saying I'm not really a drummer. But I do like the angle. I feel like it puts everything, like especially with these little like see how inside here you see time correct and all that. I can't see it very well when it just sits flat, because then it's like this, and you're looking at a top down, so you might be able to see it. But for me, when it's like this, I can see all the words of what's going on here. Everything becomes more visible and just easier. And because it's sitting up, I can use the thumb rest still, or I can not use it. I could just do this because it's not a big deal. But yeah, you don't need it. It's just a nice have. So anyway, let me play this bass and then I'll get back with him. I have to mute the mic though. Stupid me. I just went through the whole thing jamming, having fun, and completely forgot to turn on the MPC samples thing so it can pick up the audio. Now, this is not this complex when you run it straight into the MPC. It's really just easy. But because I'm trying to show you guys, it's a little more complex. So give me one more second. Now I got to re-record this. Erase that one. And I'm going to mute the mic again so that I can actually go and record. All right. All right, cool. We are back. Let me switch this back to the verses so that you can hear it. And here we go. We're going to put it into the sequence. I'm going to go in, same principle. We're going to go into the sequencer, set this back at the 1, hit the sequence on, and just hit that. Now I know that velocity's got to be louder. I'm going to turn the velocity on this one to right around 110, which is fine. Hit stop. It's not the greatest. I do think playing a bass would be fun for this. You can just plug in and play your bass. But this is just an option if you don't have a bass, right? And I feel like the time is a little off, so let me see something here. Let's scroll back to the sequencer to the beginning. Let me take a look at the sample itself. Make sure. Yeah, I didn't start on the 1, but let me see. Let me just trim it down. Worst case scenario, I have to record it again, which is part of the process. I don't feel like it's my best work, so I'm going to do it again. Let me take a look at some comments. All right, we talked about that. Adjustable laptop stand works fine for me. Fits more gear and all laptops. Yep, might even be a bit cheaper. This stand was, I think it's like $32, and yet I got 10% off. The guy that makes these on Etsy lives probably 15 minutes from where I live. Probably could just drove over there and met him and picked up one, but keep that in mind. He still gave like 10% off. So Pine, what is it, Pine 3D? I like the stands personally. They're well built. I have another one from him too. Again, yes, it's like Crazy Rabbit said, personal choice. Um, question, how are you connected? I asked as I don't see your charger light. Oh, there's a switch back here. Can you see it? So if you have a switch on it, apparently you can, when it gets to a certain point where it needs to be, you can turn this off and it still can supposedly run the power through it. But yeah, need to find a cable that doesn't require, or just maybe they fix that on the new update. We'd have to ask Sally Star if it, there's a way to turn off the power, but I don't know yet. USB cables, but no charge light. Yeah, you already answered that. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Dusty. For one, yeah, you can get those on Amazon with the switches on them, and you can see it turned off the power again, but it's not a big deal. It's just going to turn off when it's charged to a certain point. I think it turns it back on. I need to get this. I can listen to that while I'm doing chores. Yeah, absolutely. I need to get that bass down though. But yeah, I'm trying to get the bass to line up, and it's not as good as I'd like it to be. So I could run this cable from out of the iPad. So I'm gonna show you this. The sound is better through the USB-C um into the, but I could grab another 1 second. This right here. If I didn't want to use the audio through, the easy way to do this would be just plug in a cable like so, and then you could just record through here instead of using the USB-C. So go back into, this is probably going to ring into your ears. So well, I'm not going to turn on the record part of it, but I'll just, because you guys won't be able to hear this if I don't do this. Can you guys hear this? Well, let me turn the, so now the volume is totally different level. Can you guys hear that? It's low, but yes. Okay. Let me see. me see if I gotta return the record gain up. Ooh. How's that? Yeah, the iPad volume is all the way up. Keep in mind I'm running off of the back with this, so it's going to be a little less. I'm just talking about the bass, not the... Again, I'm just talking about the bass. How's the bass? Can you hear that? Do you know if the brand of that power strip is made by Rit-Top? I'm on Amazon looking. Let me see. I don't think... Doesn't really say it on the back. I bought this when I did the S4. When I had the S4, that's why I bought it. Oh, the MPC compressor, I think I bypassed it. Yeah, I bypassed it. So it's not on. That's louder than the initial bass. Yeah, I bypassed that. So here I can turn it on though. Let's see. You're telling me that's a little too low? I'll get you that information, Crazy Rabbit, as soon as we finish the live. Because in order for me to get it for you, I have to actually, um, well, let me just go on. Let me see if I can find it on Amazon for you real quick. Uh, Cable with the power switch. Yeah, I believe it's called Rit Top. I think that's it. Because they're the only ones. Oh no, there's some other people doing them too. But yeah, I think it's Rit Top. It's if you want exactly which one it is, I'll have to look it up when I'm off live, where I can go to my own personal Amazon account and look at it. But I think that's the right one. All right, cool. Okay, let's see what we're saying on the volume. Is the MPC compressor? I already said that. Okay, I'll go back to that video. No worries. Appreciate it. Volume is good, but the bass, but on the good on the bass. Okay, cool. That's all. I'm gonna turn the compressor off. I'm gonna bypass it because I don't want to compress it twice. All right, I'm gonna try to record the bass in this time. I will have to mute this so that you guys don't get blasted by the MPC. Okay, and then I have to mute my mic, of course. Okay, I'm back. So hopefully this one, although I'm not confident with that first note that I hit it on time, or we'll see. Oh, it came out pretty good. Okay, not bad. I can tolerate it. Let's just see if we can put it into the sequencer. We'll go right into the sequencer. Back to the beginning. It's already actually in there, pad 15. Oh, it's not in there. Why are we getting static? Eesh. Hold up. Go back to the beginning. 15. Why is 15 here and here too? We need to delete this. Erase that. That might have been why it was sounding off. It was triggering twice. Okay, cool. I don't know what the heck I was doing there. All right. Back to the sample. Oh, I like this much better too. This take was a little bit better. Okay. I got like 60 screens open. I gotta close. That little staticky noise must be coming from one of these cables, particularly this cable, because it's kind of cheap. Even though this is the iPhone headphone adapter, sometimes it'd be noisy. That's why I prefer just using the USB-C. But yeah, it works. Then if I go back into here, we can close the bass out. So the only reason I prefer to use the USB-C through to the computer is just because on this machine, you can't hear what you're playing. There's no audio through without being in the sample record. So for me, that's kind of a bummer. I wish they would let you be able to play audio through so you could play over stuff, but you can't. So I'm going to go back to the computer way of recording only because it tends to be a little bit cleaner for some reason. So now I got to go enable iPad audio. So now we should have got my keyboard back. Nice. Let's add in another track. And we're going to add in, how about a little bit of tenor saxophone? Throw it on mix bus A. And now, let's put a little reverb on that. I'm trying not to show you guys apps that aren't out, that are on here. But if I do show you one, my apologies to whoever it may bother or offend. Where is that dang app? I'm trying to find a certain app. Don't worry, I'll get there. Not that app. I must only have it on my iPhone. I feel like it was a free app too, that's why. What was it called? Let me see if I can look up what the name of it is. We won't worry about it. We'll just use something else. Alright, let's grab a little reverb. So I like EOS 2. Audio damage. and I particularly enjoy the ambience one. Drop that thing down about like 30%. That's about all you need. I'm going to use my keyboard. I'm going to switch my Osmos over to an MPE setting I have here. And we're going to connect. I'm going to get the keys off of Bluetooth. I'll put the Bluetooth over here. But you can use this. Change the MIDI in here to MIDI map to MPE. Let me try a different instrument. I have a few more on here on the iPad that I can use. What would a flute sound like on this? I thought you could monitor like that's where I was doing that. What's up, Beak Beak? Monitor like what? What do you mean? You have to explain what you mean, yeah, because I'm not sure what you mean, monitor. You mean like monitor you talking about putting the monitor or this onto my screen, or what are you referring to when you say monitor? I can do this on the screen, but you cannot use audio from here and use the screen recording at the same time. Or at least I haven't figured out a way. Every time I try, it bypasses the audio. It'll either go audio, I mean like screen but no audio, or it'll go audio with no screen. I'm using Ecamm Live. I don't know. Maybe if you use some other program like OBS or something, maybe you could. Like monitor the inputs. You're talking about on the MPC then, I'm assuming? You can only hear the samples when you go into a sample record, and then you can change the inputs. But you can't do it on this main screen as far as I know, unless there's something I'm missing that's in some type of settings or whatever. Could be, I mean, but yeah, I don't know how you change the monitor without switching to the record sample portion while on different screens. You might have to explain yourself a little more on what you mean. If you're in sample record, you can change the monitor, like where your sound's coming from. But if you're not on sample record, I don't think you can. I don't know how you would. Yeah, no, I'm switching monitors over here. I'm running the iPad through loopback and sending the audio in via USB-C that way. You could just plug the iPad, I guess, into here and directly record, absolutely. But then the problem with that is you only have one USB, so you wouldn't be able to hear it when I'm putting it out to YouTube. You would not be able to listen because there's only one USB-C. So I have to run the iPad in through the computer through this USB and route it to where you can actually hear it. Otherwise, you get the phone audio, and the phone audio is not good unless I plug in like another cable. It would be some crazy work. Plus, when I want to live stream, it's easier to live stream on the computer using the computer. So on input config, you're talking about going in here. Yeah, you could. That's true. You can go through the source. Um, you could change the source to USB, I guess, maybe, and then route in. That's what you're talking about, putting on the source on here. Let me see. So here's the only thing. I mean, for the mic, that probably works. You still have to go into sample record to record it in. Unless they change something. I don't know if there's a way to do that otherwise. Put input config, put monitor on. Input config. Oh, I have it on. I have set on auto. You saying just put it on like that? Sample. I got you. I just meant always being able to hear the sound incoming. No, that's what I'm trying to do. But what I was saying, I think to be able to hear it, you still have to go into the sample record because I'm not sure. Let me unplug it for a second, and I'm gonna do something real quick. I'll be right back. I mean, I'm still gonna be on camera. On camera, gonna plug the two here just to see what you're talking about. So I'm plugging the iPad directly in. Okay, so you see how the iPad's plugged in? I'm playing some sound here. I can see it's moving, but I'm not hearing it. But if I hit sample record, then I should be able to hear it if it's USB, right? So let's go USB. Mic's off. Rear, resample, USB. See, there's no sound coming from. Let me turn the iPad up, make sure the sound here is. So you can't hear this because obviously it's not plugged back into the computer. Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm gonna switch something. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, so and then I gotta plug this one back in. Yeah, unfortunately, unless mine isn't working or something. Hold on, let me turn this back on so you guys can hear it. unfortunately, oops, I didn't mean to start that. You can't really hear it without going into sample. For some reason, it just doesn't. So it's kind of weird. It's, is it an AUM routing thing? Um, Hardware. You want me to try it again? Hold on one second. We can try it on live. Okay, so now if you look here, it says MPC Sample, but there's no sound. I'm gonna go into the routing. It says MPC Sample input and output. Again, no sound though. It should be able to play through here. There's sound moving because I'm pressing the button. It's playing, but you can't hear it here. Even when you go into here, you still can't hear it. Mic, 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 mic. Let me plug. I'm gonna plug the. Oh, I think we figured it out. Okay. I think it's switching cables. I figured it out. You're right. It does work. It's because I'm using this volume here. For some reason, it wasn't doing it. Let me enable the iPad again. So yeah, it does work, but I was in sample record. So watch your ears for science. I can have all I can have the incoming audio through USB on all screens. Interesting. I'm gonna try it and see if I can do it again. I usually don't do it on camera. Only reason I was doing it this way is because there's only one USB-C. So how do you get multiple sources going in? And I guess you could run it, you could run your camera and then record. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out though. As long as I have monitor on and input config, you should hear the audio on every screen. I'm gonna try it again. I did hear it, but I had to turn this up to be able to hear it when I did that. So let me try one more thing. Okay, because I can hear. Can you guys hear that? You can hear the audio. So you're right. You can hear and play with it. The only thing is, um, I don't want to use the speaker, this little speaker. I want to be able to route the audio through my recording while I'm doing the video. So while I'm doing the video, I guess I would have to take and mirror the audio from the iPad. But the problem is in Ecamm Live, and I'm not sure if it's Ecamm Live or if it's the way iOS was working or something, to where every time I plug in the iPad, it would cut the sound off. So there'd be no audio. So that's the part I'm struggling with. I got to figure out. But it does seem to be that you can play the audio through it. But the question then becomes, how do I get the audio back into the computer where it can record and sound clean? Because I don't want to record through a camera like the iPhone camera. Yeah, see, that's the thing. So streaming setup is different. Yeah, so So you're right, Beak Beak. I mean, it's basically fine if you just want to do it on your own time. But when you go to record on a stream, if you want people to be able to hear it, the way iOS is, it's really jacked up in the sense of it's not fun for I mean the MacBook, incredible. It's so easy to do on the MacBook, especially for streaming. But once you switch over, so once you switch over to the iPad, that's where it gets tricky because it will let me. So you guys see on the screen, hold on, let me pull it up here. I'm gonna minimize some of this. I got like 50 screens open. So what you guys see on the screen currently is me. The only reason I switched to this view is so that you can see both of these. When I do a screen record where I show you just this screen, it literally cuts the audio. So my goal is to keep both going at the same time so that you can hear it. See, I switched to the iPad. So you see how you can see my iPad screen here? Now it's playing the audio. Oh my God. Streaming is so difficult, guys. Give me a like for this one just because it's so difficult. There's 81 people in the comment or 81 comments. That's crazy. So now it's working. It seems like when I did the stream first, then put the audio through, it wasn't working. And then what I was trying to do was add a side view of this so that you could see. I guess I could put that over here so that you guys could see what was going on. Well, now you can see it and you got the sound. So tell me this, can you guys hear? I know you can see it because I can see what you see. But do you hear because I don't have the iPad up to use for that. Do you hear this flute? Can you hear that flute? Thank you, Shaba Lover. Shaba Overload. I'm sorry, Shaba Lover. What am I talking about? Shaba Overload. Yeah, streaming is not easy. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's very difficult. There's so much that could go wrong and you have to try to figure it out on the spot. You can hear both. That's great. So it's working now all of a sudden. Unfortunate. Now here's the next trick. Trying to figure out how to get so now that you can see this screen, right? You're seeing what's on the iPad. Now try to figure out how you're going to get the audio to pass from the iPad back into the MPC is the trick without having that crazy feedback that blows your eardrums out. That's the part that's challenging because if I turn the iPad off from here, so if I go into here and turn it off and give you this screen, what you don't see in the background is the other screen. Hold on, these are camera switching. Go back to, so see how I can put the iPad over here and then have this over here. What you don't see in the back, I'm gonna put the, hold on, this is backwards actually. It should be this and then this is the loop back that's trying to keep the audio, not only my voice that you're able to hear, but also keep the MPC audio from bleeding like this. See that? That's where the trick is because I need that to be able to record into the MPC. So if I can bypass it by using the audio straight from the iPad and then just put the iPad on screen, that's probably how the best way to do it so that you guys don't hear that crazy stuff and let you hear one of so I can create a and if the MPC is plugged in, which I'm going to do right now. So 1 second. But if I unplug the iPad, I can't mirror the screen. So That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you're going to lose the mirror portion if I plug directly into here. So I'm not going to do it because it'll just kill the whole thing. Plug this back in. And it cuts my audio when it does that power thing. But yeah, that's the challenge. This is the reason why I didn't show you this screen here, because the challenge is trying to figure out how you're going to send the audio out. So you see this right here, it's sending the audio through the system capture. And that's how I'm routing the audio. So everything is running through this. Can you see this where I'm pointing? Everything is running through this up to here into Koala, right? But it doesn't matter if Koala is there or not. I mean, you're just passing the audio through a HDMI, sending it back into the computer. So that's one way to get the audio. I can easily get this where you can hear it. It's just when I'm trying to record into the MPC through this system that you get that loopback issue, that the loopback feedback rather. I'm sorry, issue. Maybe someone out there gets off on feedback, feedback core music. Feedback core music is hilarious. Yeah, it's a catch-22, man. Exactly, beak beak. But yeah, thanks for pointing that out, because it's good for people in the chat to know that yes, you can run the audio direct. And as I said, when you're not streaming, this is super easy. This is nothing to it. Hook your iPad to this and just go to town and have fun. It only becomes an issue when you're streaming and you're trying to record and you don't. Now, you could use an audio interface. You could do it that way and then run everything to an audio interface. But it still gets tricky. Let me be honest, it's still pretty tricky to do. So we do the best we can, what we have. That's why I did all the recording without playing it. So a guy that uses the Osmos on the Discord kind of helped me set it up, because it's really difficult when you're using SWAM instruments like this flute to get the MPE right, because they have not MIDI mapped, which I hope they do, the Osmos to this thing, which is funny, right? I always say, because they have in here the Touche default, which is another expressive ease device. So if they could ever put the Osmos in there and get a MIDI mapping for it, I'd be really grateful. SWAM Instruments, aka Audio Modeling, just because I want to be able to use it and get the most. So the way I fixed that was I had to make a special setting, which you can do and save presets, to have the aftertouch come in after I press really hard on the key. Because remember, Osmos has MPE, but it also has aftertouch and polyphonic aftertouch, or they call it poly aftertouch, whatever. So it goes 0 to 60, and then when you get past 60, that's where the aftertouch kicks in to give you that expression. Because if you don't know this, the expression kind of helps the song sound more real. Then over here, you see the vibrato. So pitch bend. but I don't use the pitch bend on this one that much, mostly on like horns. So you can leave a little vibrato on, or you can, if you really want to get technical, you want to like use your hand and just, and then you put your beat. But if you really want to get better at it, you don't need an Osmos to do it. The breath controller, I think it's like $150. That's the thing to do if you really want to play these woodwinds and brass instruments and whatever. So, but anyway, that's my little 2 cents of understanding. Or you can buy yourself an actual horn of some sort, like the Roland one or the Akai one or the whatever other one. I think the Yamaha makes one. If you really want to try to play like that, those are a little more expensive, more difficult. I think the other one is more expressive when you get the I forget what it's called though, but you can look it up on the breath controllers. They show you some of them in when you go in here to this oops, I didn't mean to do that. So you can look in here at them and see which ones are MIDI mapped. Like even GeoShred is good. You could use it if you just want to use an app. Don't want to do that. Linstrument. I think Crazy Rabbit has a Linstrument. He can probably talk about that. You can ask him questions on his channel. The Roland Aerophone or the Seaboard is in here. Of course, you can use the on-screen one if you want. The wind controllers and the Yamaha YDS 150 and the 120. And if we go back up top, the Iwi is in here. Another breath controller default. And then, yeah. So, but yeah, I have my own that I switched to in Osmos. And on iOS, the Swam instrument stuff is cheaper. So if you try to get it on desktop, it's really expensive. So I would suggest if you're interested in using it and you have an iPhone or an iPad, they are all on the iPhone and iPad. You can hook a controller to it and get your flutist. What is it? A flautist? Anyway, yeah, something like that. That's that MPE listen. There you go. Until we get a stems, you can use this beautiful thing called Koala and just record your parts into Koala. So check this out. It's my intro, which is what I played in here. Then I can get my guitar. Right? Man, I would absolutely love a MIDI bass. Yes, I would too. Yeah, so the jam stick is only guitar, unfortunately. But the cool thing is the new jam sticks are an actual guitar are really nice. Because they're a real guitar that you can play with later. It's not just MIDI. So I think those are better option if you're going guitar. I wish they made a MIDI bass. That would be crazy. But for now, since we don't have one, fretless bass is a great option if you just want, because that's what I just use. And because it has the ability, you can't see it. Well, you see it on the iPad here. I'm actually, you can wiggle and get that little vibrato of the strings. Now, you don't get that if you play it through a keyboard, so you need to do it on screen, but it's fun because you get a little more expressive. But yeah, a Jamstick bass would be incredible. And unfortunately, they don't have that that I know of at least. So yeah, I keep trying to take my mouse on my computer and make it do the same thing here. See how I move the mouse over? I have them connected the MacBook to the iPad so I can go back and forth. You can't see it when it goes to the MacBook, but I can use the same mouse and go back and forth to my through my screen. So that's how I'm moving. But yeah, click and open up stuff. Go back. Cool. So you guys got any more wiggle on the glass? Why does that sound so funny? I don't know, but wiggle on the glass isn't. I agree. I'm with you, Crazy Rabbit. I like the iPad, and I'm very much with you. It's not as fun, which is why I say, buy the instrument. I borrow my daughter's bass or something if I need to play a bass line, but I don't have an upright bass, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't. So I use Trillion when I'm on the computer, and I use iFretless when I'm on the iPad, and it works on iPhone. And if you click in here for the settings, you can adjust the EQ. I think I could be wrong. Yeah, they don't have it in this one. I was hoping that they would eventually update this and add in a MIDI bass. They do have obviously Bluetooth MIDI. I mean, not MIDI bass, I'm sorry. MIDI MPE. That's what I meant to say, MPE. If they ever revamp this and add MPE into this, it would be incredible. And what would even be better if Spectrasonics would bring over Omnisphere, Keyscape, and Trillion to iOS. But that'll never happen. Believe me, I've been begging them for a minute. They don't see the value because people are typically, I hate to use these words, but I'm going to use it. I'm gonna say a nice word like frugal, very frugal on iOS. In other words, they want $5 apps, and Omnisphere and all that is not a $5. It's not cheap. So yeah, they probably will never come over. So unfortunately. So we will continue to lack bass that we want. Same thing with guitar. If people weren't cheap, you could probably convince somebody like Ample Sound to bring over some of those guitars and bass they have, but they're not cheap. So I don't think it'll ever happen. 2 hour live stream brought the heat. Thank you for the time. Yeah, appreciate you, man. I'm gonna be getting out of here anyway. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to find a bass and a guitar. You can get guitar with MIDI, just the bass part. I don't know, but it would be cool if they do add it. You might have to. There may be something you can add on to a bass to make it play bass notes. But let's be real. If you got a bass, just play the bass. Like the only reason you would get a guitar MIDI is if you don't know how to play a MIDI keyboard, and then maybe you just a guitarist that want to play it. To me, I would just play the guitar and play the bass and record it in. So yeah, I usually don't do this long of a live, but I had a little extra time today so I could do it. But we shall see. So enjoy my time with you guys. Definitely use the iPad with this. This is a surefire hookup right here. This dating scene is very compatible. Um, I did order a cover for my, not a cover, a skin to put over this. Um, Lo-Fi Andy is pretty cool guy. They're not cheap, but they don't tear up the paint or mess up anything on it. It's more magnetic the way it sits. So I'll show you guys that sometime down the road whenever it comes in. And yeah, this is still the best setup. I finally moved the Osmos off the desk to give me some room. I think this is going to be the way I run because it's just more freeing up here when I want to put something in the space. I'll try to continue to work on finding a way. The dating scene. Yes, the dating scene. This is like, what was that old show? Was it the 80s where the people would come on there and try to talk to like three different people and see which one they wanted to date? Love Connection. They used to make fun of it. Remember back in the day, Love Connection. Oh man. Anyway, yes, that's what I'm thinking. Dusty is a bass string space MIDI pickup of some sort. Yeah, thank you, Beak Beak, for pointing out some of the things that we could do too with straight into the MPC. I'll try to see if I can figure out a way to get that off stream, get it set up where and make it a little easier. That would be pretty cool, not having to do 50 different setups. What I really would like to know is, can we run multiple outs, USB-Cs out on this thing? But I don't think that's the case, but I'll try it off stream and let you know. And then eventually, once I get this one piece I'm missing for this guy, the MPC Move, which is the MIDI USB-C here, then I'll use this one for some stuff too with the iPad. But anyway, in the meantime, catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Yep. Have a good weekend. Everyone take care. Appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one.